Our next speaker and our final speaker is, I'm happy to call this man a friend, and I've known him for a long time. He was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, like Dr. Brem, later in life in his 20s. I've known him for 14 years. We worked together at the radio station where he worked in our promotions department. And he then went on to work for the Worcester Tornadoes baseball team, where he entertained fans on the field with his announcing shenanigans, his unique voice, his fantastic personality, and the tackiest jackets you will ever see. He kept the thrift shop going, man. Good for you. You're a lovely, lovely person in those jackets. Well, now he's the general manager of the two-time reigning Futures Collegiate Baseball League champion Worcester Bravehearts. Please welcome my friend David Peterson, known to many in the Worcester community simply as Peterman. Dave.
All right, thank you, Adam, and it's good to see everybody here this morning. This is the 7th year that I've gone to this breakfast. It's great to have seen it grown over the years, and he told me to keep this to 2 hours or less, so I will try to do that for you because we have to get to work. My story starts in 2007. That is the year that I got married. I married a wonderful, beautiful girl who was a great, cheerful person, professional, a good cook. Her name is Amy. She's standing in the back of the room right now, and if you're all lucky, maybe you'll get a chance to meet her in a bit. If you're good, only if you clap. She has it all. That was 2007. Just a few years later, I got married again. This time I married this thing, sitting in my pocket. This is an insulin pump. We'll call her Lynn. We'll give her a name, okay? So I have Lynn and I have Amy. Now Lynn, unlike Amy, is very demanding. She's very abrupt. She's loud. She's needy. She buzzes in the middle of important meetings. She beeps in the middle of dinner. In fact, Lynn has the gall to sleep in the same bed as Amy and me. She sleeps right between us every single night. Now, I can't get through living with diabetes without Amy, and I can't get through living with diabetes without Lynn. Amy keeps me grounded. Lynn keeps me alive. And I have been fortunate enough to learn about how this disease affects people just by going through it and being fortunate enough to have the technology that's been made available to us. So I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, as Adam said, in 2008. I was 29 years old, and I had no family history of the disease. I had no idea at the time how my life was going to change. At that time, I worked for the Worcester Tornadoes baseball team, and again, as Adam said, I was the crazy guy that ran around the field and threw T-shirts into the stands and emceed the pie-eating contest. And I can't think of one specific event during that summer of 2008 where I knew there was a problem, but I could see progressively getting worse over the course of the summer. I was thirsty all the time. That is the number one thing to think about when you are wondering if you might have diabetes. Thirsty. I needed something every 15 minutes. After I would run around the field and run off the field, I would have terrible muscle cramps. My calf muscle would just seize right up on me because I was dehydrated, constantly dehydrated. My eyes were irritated and constantly going to the bathroom. I knew that something was wrong. After the season ended in September, I lost 25 pounds without even trying. And by Columbus Day that year, I was mowing the lawn for the last mow of the entire year, and that was when I knew there's really something wrong here. I couldn't push the lawnmower. I just had no energy. What happened was I ended up going to a free clinic in Shrewsbury. They immediately transferred me to the hospital. where I found that my blood sugar was 760. A typical blood sugar is between 80 and 120. Mine was 760. I was admitted to the hospital. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Somehow, for some reason, my pancreas shut down, stopped working. And so, ever since then, I have had to learn how to live and manage this disease. Perhaps more than any other disease, diabetes requires the utmost attention all hours during the day. It is mentally draining. Counting carbs, managing 5 or 6 different prescriptions, and making sure that there's enough time to refill them, and making sure you don't run out of supplies. Remembering to pack the trusty glucose tablets. I don't know if anyone here has them, but I have them right in my pocket, these glucose tablets. And this is what I use if my blood sugar drops so I don't pass out. Okay? These are all the mental aspects of living with diabetes. I kind of equate it to trying to balance on top of a basketball. How many of you have tried that before? Don't go home and try it today. You could twist an ankle. Balancing on top of a basketball. All right? I have to keep my blood sugar within a certain range. I can't go too low and I can't go too high. Much like balancing on top of a basketball, you lean in either direction and you will fall down. And I think one of the problems with this disease is that too many people who have diabetes are just content to fall down. This disease requires so much effort in making sure that you take care of it so that you can prolong your life. When you start falling down, when you start falling off that basketball, not paying attention to your blood sugars, you start to lose things. Okay? You start to lose your eyesight. You start to lose your limbs, your toes, your fingers. You could lose your kidneys. Ultimately, you could lose your life. And that is why it is so important to manage this disease and to use the resources that the American Diabetes Association brings to me and to all of us living with diabetes. I mentioned earlier, I work for a baseball team. When we go out on the field every day, it's our job to win. That is our job. We strive to win. We go out there and give our best effort so that we can win. And personally, I will tell you that that is the same approach that I have to living with diabetes. When I wake up every morning, I have to win. I have to beat diabetes every single day. I will not lose to diabetes. Collectively, we can't lose to diabetes. There are 30 million Americans right now living with diabetes. I got news for you. That's not winning. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean we can't win, because there are specific ways that we can fight this disease. And the American Diabetes Association has put it all together for us. Right here in this city, the technology is being developed to manage this disease better and to ultimately cure this disease. And that's why I know that we can beat this disease in the future. It starts right here in this fine city, in this fine state, in this fine region, where some of the greatest researchers in the entire world are working on curing this disease. So today, I'm not here for your concern. I'm not here for your sympathy. I'm here for your activism. I'm here to ask you to go back to your offices and think about the effect that diabetes has on you in your lives. Maybe you have family members with diabetes. Maybe you have employees or coworkers with diabetes. Think of the lost hours, employee hours that affect your business because people are sick at home trying to take care of their diabetes. Think of the $245 billion that is being spent on diabetes right now. That is more than the big dig, people. Can I say that? I can say it. We need to get involved, all right? Everyone in this room needs to get involved because I'm here to win. We need to make sure that everyone in this room is here to win. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for your attention. And I thank you for your activism in helping to make sure that diabetes at some point in our lives never exists anymore. Thank you.